just like real life, you're surrounded by a bunch of animals until God does you a solid and finds a suitable person to pair you up with. Y'all know how it is. It's 2017. People are crazy. And I just thank Jesus every day that I got married before Tinder was like as big as it is. So, people are crazy out there. Hey everyone, this is going to be part 2 of my video series on the beginning of Genesis. And like in our last video, where we talked about what happened from when God created the earth up until God created Adam, we are going to be getting into who Adam is, what his job was, and him getting wifed up, and how what God had in place as far as a timeline is sort of how you should follow if you want to, become an adult and do your own thing. If you don't want to be if you don't want to be treated like a child, act like an adult. So we're just going to dive right into that and let's get to it. We're going to have to go into Genesis 2, and that is when God forms Adam, man, from the dust of the earth. And he breathed into him. So we have the Holy Spirit in him, and that's what made him come alive. So that's basically the story of how Adam came to be. Now then what happens? So God has Adam. He is alive. There's trees, there's animals, and the first thing God does is he gives them like the ground rules. You can eat from this, but don't eat from that. So he gives them the ground rules. Then he gives Adam a job. You're in charge of naming all of the animals. And then, number 3, he's like, you know what? He needs a helper. He needs a bud. Not just any bud. He needs a wife. He needs to wife Adam up. But there's nothing suitable for Adam to wife up with. So God puts Adam into a deep sleep, and he takes out one of Adam's ribs, does his thing, and makes Eve. So she is Adam's wife. Now I want to just kind of to the side a little bit, and you can kind of get to know me a bit. And this totally mimics like how the Bible is. Now God has a hierarchy of things. Man, then animals, then the plants in the earth, but man's on top. Like he's over all of this stuff because God gave him that authority. He gave him dominion. He's in charge. He's the boss over everything. So you'll see this repeated over and over and over in the Bible. God has a hierarchy. It's not just like Zappos over here where nobody has any titles or anything. We're all just like members of one group. Nope, that's not how we do it here. Like God has a hierarchy. God first, then humans, then animals, then plants, and man's in charge. Now, I definitely want to kind of get into some biblical truths, I guess I would say, in future videos. Because from Adam and Eve, you can really see, like, there's a progression. First, you get the ground rules. So, like, when you're a kid, your parents kind of tell you what to do, and they kind of guide you. Then you get a job. And then once you have your job, then you're ready for a wife. It's not, you're a scrub, you're not doing anything, and you think you're going to get wifed up. Like, you're not ready for it. And all throughout the Bible, it talks about, like, how relationships should be. I can say from personal experience that I have been in relationships or I've gone out on dates when I had no business going out on dates. Like I was in school or I lived at home with my parents or I didn't have a job, whatever. Until you are off on your own with a job, you're not ready to get wifed up. Right from the jump in the Bible, you learn what to do, then you put it into practice at work, then you're ready to take on another person. Now, I know from personal experience that if you decide you're going to do it out of order, you're going to be up a creek. And I don't say that from my own, you know what? Actually, I do. It is from my own relationship, because I think all of y'all need to know that I am married right now. And this is my second go around, because I married a violent, crazy person. And I'm not just like one of those people saying like, oh yes, like he was terrible because we didn't agree on, music or something. No, this fool literally told me, I'm going to kill you and hide your body in the trash and nobody's going to find you. Like, violent and scary. I booked it out of there. Like, God, I messed up. Like, you can totally understand. I'm not ready to die. This fool, like, threw me out of the house by my hair. I was over it. See ya. Whatever. But did this dude have a job? No, he was a trust fund baby. So their priorities are all out of whack. Don't make my mistakes. So, just like Adam, learn your stuff, get a job, then you're ready for God to wife you up. I want you to subscribe below and tell me in the comments about a time where you thought you were grown, you thought you were ready, and not the best way to go about doing things. I will see you later. Bye.